Welcome to the Golden Apple Show. I am your host, Jacqueline Jerry. Today we are discussing a topic that is very close to my heart, matters mental health. We need to give the same attention you give physical health to our mental health. I mean, if today I woke up, feeling unwell, if I woke up with the flu, I'd go to hospital and I'd get medical intervention. We don't give the same attention to mental health. Actually, what we do, we stigmatize and make the people who are suffering from mental health to feel bad about talking about their struggles. Isn't it a wonder that so many people just keep quiet about their struggles because they feel nobody will understand, they'll be told they are faking it, they'll be told they are being sissies, they'll be told to get over it, or we don't even give a shoulder to lean on. We are so quick to give solutions. Here and now, I'm here to emphasize on the need for empathy, for open-mindedness, for love and affirmation to those people who come out and say that they're struggling with mental health. And with me today, I have a very beautiful lady on set.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Welcome, Pinky.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're very much welcome. So if you can just introduce yourself and then give us your story on how you overcame mental health struggles.
Okay.
Yeah.
My names are Pinky. Real names are Mandeep, but many people know me as Pinky.
I like Pinky.
Okay. So, yeah, and I'm 33 years old and was born in 1989. I come from a Sikh background. I'm a Sikh by birth. My religion is Sikhism. So yeah, so I'm just here about talking about mental health awareness, how it affects, where it comes from,
Yeah.
and what's supposed to be done so that people can outcome over it or come over it, you know. So come out of the fear that by them knowing that mental health issues, if one is suffering from, they feel like it's something so major. It's actually not major if you look into it. There are ways of outcoming over from it. Like I have always said, I have been a victim of whereby I was suffering from mental health issues as well. This is when I was in primary school and also in high school. So whereby you see, if you're senior in a class, you're a junior, you will be manhandled very badly. So it was like bullies and always being told things, you know. So it came to a point whereby I took it personally into my heart. So every time I would think about it, it would affect me. And it had come to a point whereby it had started affecting me very mentally. That when I used to go to school, my hands used to tremble. I used to tell my mom, I really don't want to go to school. And my mom said, maybe there's something in school that's happening that you don't want to let us know. And in that fear, I never even used to share it with my own parents. But then a friend of mine noticed. So all she did was, she told me, she advised me to go to a counselor. But because that thing had sat inside in my heart that I can't share it out with someone because it might be used against me. So I decided to keep that thing inside in my heart. So it kept on growing bigger and bigger. In fact, I used to get very bad images and very bad visions. So it came to a point whereby I started listening to prayers and meditating. So meditation and prayers are the ones that help. It took me time, but I eventually came out of it. But then when I used to see that someone is trying to bully me, so I used to stand up with a very firm, you know, and with that firmness. And I would go in front of the person and tell the person that, look, I won't allow you to bully me anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
Because at the end of the day, you are human just like me. So, you know, and then secondly, as I grew and went back in high school, it's the same thing that happened there. So like I used to see even girls of my age, not only me, but other girls as well, you know, being bullied, being mentally tortured, not only from the fellow students, even from the teachers.
Really?
Yes. You know, if someone has done a mistake, you would see a teacher is whereby a teacher calls a girl in the class alone and then, you know, tries to, you know, try to explain, even if you're trying to discipline, come on man, if you're trying to discipline a student, you don't call a girl just so next to you and, you know, try to get closer. don't know what was he trying to say. I don't want to name the teacher, but what he did was actually bringing a lot of effect on that girl. She was really like mentally disturbed. It came to a point whereby for 1 month we didn't see the girl, and what happened is just that we got to know that she's out of this world. She committed suicide.
Oh no.
Because this thing, we saw it, but it used to happen to her every time. She used to go through it every time. She went through it at home, she went through it in high school. So it came to a point whereby she could not take the pressure. That's why I want to let everyone know that mental health issue is just important as any other health issues. We can't say, like, when our friends fall sick, we can't say let's go and visit him or her because they are our friends and give them that importance. But when our loved one or somebody who's so close to us is actually suffering from mental health issues, we sideline them.
Yeah.
And we show our cold heart towards them. That's not how it's supposed to be. We should make them feel that they are important.
Yeah.
We should make them feel that they can actually come out of that state.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't make them feel like they are not they're not important. That makes them feel like they've gone into depression. And finally you just hear that you've lost your loved one,
Sadly.
you know.
Yeah.
So, and this thing especially happens to women. So you can see whereby a woman is doing so much in the house, and some members of the family don't find her very important. So it affects her. You know, first time she will ignore, second time she will ignore, but third time she will even start asking herself the question. She'll start questioning herself.
She starts doubting her
Yeah.
worth.
Like, she might even end up asking herself, I do so much, why am I not important? Why am I getting it? Why am I getting this thing is affecting me emotionally, physically and mentally? Then later on you'll start seeing the woman is, you know, she wants to stay alone. She doesn't want to be in the company of people.
Yeah.
So she wants to be alone. So she likes that company of being lonely all the time. So, and it starts, that loneliness is when that depression is started coming in.
When you start isolating yourself from other people. Yeah.
So that's when you know, when you start seeing that you are trying to be away from others, that's when the depression has started coming in. And with depression, we all know what happens. Many people end up committing suicide. So it's very important for everyone to know that mental health is really important, and it really needs to be given a lot of highlight and a lot of importance.
Yeah, I like what you're saying, because I keep saying this, like we measure so much on physical manifestation of an illness. Like if I came to you with a broken knee, you'd be very empathetic and sympathetic, because you're like, I'm in pain, definitely,
Yes,
most definitely.
exactly.
But if I tell you I'm struggling mentally, if I tell you I'm having anxiety or depression, I'm having panic attacks, or I'm having eating disorders, you might tell me to snap out of it. You might call me a weakling. You might tell me I'm attention seeking. You will not even recommend therapy. You will not even give me a shoulder to lean on. You will not even give me a listening ear. You're just there quickly judging me. And this is one of the main things that makes people not talk about their struggles, because they feel misunderstood. They feel not heard. They feel unvalidated. And I heard you share your story about how you underwent bullying when you were in primary school. And you tried telling your mom about it, but it's like she didn't connect fully about what was really happening. What were some of the things that these people are doing at school to you that you classified as bullying?
Okay, being a junior student to the senior students, I would find like, you know, somebody just comes and writes remarks about you on the blackboard, and like the rest of the students are laughing, and you know, you're feeling emotional. Like, you know, they would say your dad is poor, your mom is poor, you're in our country, you should go back to your country because your country belongs in India. So you know, first of all, it started with the bullying of racism. So you see, and these things still happen. These things always happen in most of the schools, campuses, universities. These things are still going on. So, and you would find whereby the teacher has come and has given us a job or something or a task to do, and you have really done your project very well. The next minute you see your whole project is all broken down, and no one wants to own up. And when you're going, they break an egg on your head, or they come and put dirty water on you. So I have gone through that. I've seen whereby I've got big G sticked in my hair, whereby I had to chop off my hair. And in Sikhism, you know, to cut the hair is not allowed. So I used to undergo all that. There's a time somebody pushed me in a fish pond. It was like so deep, and I didn't know how to swim, and I was drowning. You know, so out of all the students, there's one student who was very good with me. He dived into the pond to save me. I was actually drowning. You know, I mean, somebody just comes and pushes you from the back.
That's not
So
fair.
I have gone through those, and you know, sometimes when I remember it, it really makes me feel like I have some goosebumps or something. So I have seen life in primary, and you know, this was government school, not in private schools. Okay, in private schools, if you ever see someone being bullied, they take quick action. But in government schools, we never had that. You will complain, you'll be told go to the headmaster, then you'll be told to go to the deputy headmaster, then it's like you're just being shifted all over. So there is no solution, no one is giving you the solution on how to outcome. You know, how is this guy going to be punished, how is she going to be punished? But that solution, we as a person, we need to find it. So the solution was, I got the solution, and the solution was just praying and meditating. That's it.
I think you didn't deserve to go through any of that.
No, but the one of the fish pond was horrific. I could have lost my life.
Not cool.
I could have really lost my life.
Not cool at all. You didn't deserve to go through any of that.
Even right now, if sometimes I remember it and I try to, it just gives me goosebumps. It's like you're standing nearby an ocean and somebody just comes and pushes you, and you don't know how to swim, and you're just going to drown, and you're just going to die. So it's like I saw my death at that moment when I was pushed into a fish pond. And when I came back into my senses, and my teachers at that time, you know, and I found some of the teachers found it very funny. It's like they were just laughing, you know. So
What kind of teachers did you have?
I don't know. It was a government school, so everything. If somebody has gone through a loss or something, for some it would be funny, because if you imagine if a child has lost his father, so now it gives the other person an opportunity on how to take advantage of that. So now you will be bullied because you have lost a father and you don't have a father in this world. So you will be bullied on that basis. So it's like the students in the class used to find a basis, you know, it was like a topic. They would find a topic on how we would torture this person. And some people, and like I said, the girl had lost her life because she didn't have anyone who could hear her out. We even tried to explain to her parents, but the parents, you know, this is why I say it always starts from home. If you cannot hear your child out, which communication is very important. And most health issues comes from lack of communication. When you don't have anyone to communicate to, how do you even expect to go even to that person and tell him, excuse me, please try to hear me out. There's something very important there. And we see also videos on social media whereby children are being affected in school, but they don't have anyone to talk to. Even their own parents would not give them an ear to hear. You see? And what happens at the end of the day? Small children even end up committing suicide.
Yeah, so sad.
What's the point of crying over a loss when the person is gone, when you can actually fix the problem when the person was
the person
alive?
is still alive. I think we need to wake up as a society.
Exactly.
We need to stop burying our head in the sand, because I think most of us, because we are not properly equipped with communication skills and even how to empathize, we'd rather just pretend that things are okay, because it hurts to actually acknowledge that our children are not fine. So for parents, I think it's a challenge for them to just listen to their children. And for you, How was it? How did you survive in such a toxic environment? For real, like that
No,
environment
trust
is not
me,
conducive.
my environment has been very toxic,
Oh.
whereby you could even see a neighbor beating his wife. You could even feel like the wife is just going to die anytime soon. He would beat black and blue out of the wife. And being children, like we say, it's what children will always learn what parents do.
Correct.
So when we used to see our neighbors fighting, it would really affect us. Whereby I used to feel like, is that how the future of a woman is? Why should a woman bear all the mental torture, physical torture, emotional torture? Why should she? Why is it that, why do people feel that a woman is not important? And these things I mostly see, mental health issues are always getting affected to women only. It's like that one is giving you back to back, the other one is giving you back to back. So it's like you don't have a space, they don't give you a space to breathe. You know, so it's like you just have to continuously take it from everyone. But where does it land to?
It's like we
And-
have no safe space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you get mentally affected, people say, oh, you didn't take care of your health. So quick to judge. Oh, this one was on drugs because that's why her mental stability is not good. This one was on drugs. This one used to have a lot of happy lifestyle, you know, but they don't know. See, I always say, we always believe that, you know, whenever you speak something about someone,
Yeah.
don't speak it in such a way that it will affect him or her in 3 ways: emotionally, mentally, and physically. You know, and then the person might end up going into depression.
Yeah.
And when the person commits suicide, at that time you're there mourning over him that he is gone or she is gone.
Yeah.
But you didn't realize the reason could be even you. Because you might have told him or her something that might have made them to go to take such an extent that they might have taken that kind of a step to end up their lives.
Yeah.
You know, and people with mental health issues are not mad. That's what, and you'll just see, oh, she's suffering from mental health issues, let's go and book her into a mental asylum. Why? You should help him or her to overcome it, to come out of it. Help them and make them feel important. Just make them feel that the mental health issues is just like any other issues. Maybe it's just like a headache
Yeah.
or like blood pressure.
Yeah.
But then when you have like, when someone is suffering from blood pressure, you always think of ways on how to help that person to calm down.
Correct.
So why not help a child? Why not help a human being who is suffering with mental health issues? Why not make them feel important? Why don't the society make these kind of people feel very important?
Let me ask you, Pinky, because you seem to be very passionate about this topic. In the struggles that you've had, do you feel like you had enough support to help you through?
No.
Wow.
No, I didn't have anyone support. Like I said, even if you would go to complain to the teachers, because you see, when we go to a school, when our parents drop us to school, our next parents are the teachers.
Oh.
So we were made to believe that when you're in school, your next parents are the teachers, because now they will look after you.
Yeah.
So when I used to be like, I was dealing with this kind of things, I felt like a teacher would help me to come out of it.
Yeah.
But there was no support from the teachers as well.
There was no support whatsoever, clearly, and even that's why I said your environment was very toxic. But how did you manage to go through that environment and finish primary and get into high school? What gave you hope for another day, despite all the toxicity that was going on around?
Prayers. In government school, we used to study CRE. That's the CRE stands for Christian Religious Education. So be it any religion or be it any religious book or anything, we all believe that we're all equal at the end of the day. And so I used to study the Bible. And the Bible is what that helped me. My teachers saw me being positive now.
Wow.
they saw a lot of change in me. So, you know, there used to be in primary schools whereby there used to be Bible stories with colorful pictures. So I would read that, and it would give me lots of encouragement.
Oh, wow.
It would really, and that's what made me come out of it. And prayers. 6 o'clock when I would reach home, I'd take my shower, wash my uniform, hang it on the wire, then get back to my prayers.
Yeah.
Finish my homework, take the name of God, go to sleep, wake up the next day in the morning, and I'm so happy.
Wow.
I'm so calm. Because that mental health issues that I suffered was actually turning me to be more wilder. And I never wanted to be that. So my teacher started saying, so now the teachers want to be like when they're, like just take an example of a person when he's not there for you in your bad times.
Yeah.
But when the person sees you in your good times, that's the time they want to know you. That's the time now they want to take the credit. So that's what my teachers were trying to do.
Yeah.
It's like they were trying to take the credit that we have helped her to come out of it. That's why she's so calm. That's why she's so positive. We are the ones who told her to take the road to prayers. We are the ones who used to make her study the Bible. Nothing doing.
Nothing, but they still want to take the glory home. And I can imagine this bullying, this being in a very toxic environment must have affected you in a number of ways.
I started failing my exams. It really affected a lot on my studies. That's why we always say choose your friends wisely, choose the company you are in very wisely. Bad companies can lead you to so many things. Good company of friends can lead you to be positive. That's why everyone says be with positive people. It will make you grow in life. And that's what I did. I found new friends. Now we found more juniors because now I was the senior. But what happened with me when I was a junior, I didn't want it to happen to the next person. So as a senior, I made friends with the junior students. And like we would go out, we would play football during break time. Lunchtime we would be together, having lunch together, study together. I started improving.
So you got support, but from the most unlikely crowd.
Yes.
Yes. Because your teachers were nowhere to be found. Your parents did not seem to understand what was really happening. But you having a dialogue with yourself realized that, you could get a different crowd and still maneuver.
And the second thing is that I never wanted to worry my dad. Because at that time, I think my dad was not well as well. So, it comes to a point whereby when a student is actually going through these issues, doesn't want to stress the parents. Because parents also they leave us in school, they go to work the entire day, they sweat for us, they work hard for us.
Yes, they do.
Now when they are facing pressure, we might not know how much pressure they have faced from work. Now you take your pressure. So that's so much of pressure on them. So that's what made me feel like I want to keep things to myself. And my dad always, yes, there's a time whereby sometimes my dad would come and ask me, is everything okay in school? So I would just say yes. Even though it never used to digest me that I'm actually saying this to my dad, that though things are not okay in school, but I find it okay. It used to eat me up. But then there's a time where my dad got to know. And the other thing is that I got mentally affected is when a teacher, I had not finished the assignment. So the teacher called me and it's like we used to wear uniforms. So the uniforms was shorter. So the teacher calls you, he apparts his legs, he tells you to come and then he hits you here. So I was hit with a pipe. And this thing was all swollen. It turned out to be greenish, bluish. My walking style changed because I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Even if somebody would touch it, I was in a lot of pain. I could hear my friends when I was being beaten with a pipe. I could hear my friends actually feeling like this is something that's making them feel very disturbed. So I went at home. My dad asked me, your walking style has changed. Something must have happened in school. without even me telling him. So I said, no, Dad, everything is okay. No, 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 there is something. Just, he told my mom, he's like, just go and check. Maybe there's something that she can't share with me, but she can share with you. So I just pointed at my mom to check. So when my mom lifted my uniform and she saw such a big patch, it was such a big mark. It was a very big bruise. So my mom went, my mom told my dad, and you can't believe what my dad did. My dad went the next day to school. He pulled the teacher on the ground and he taught him a lesson, and he was handed over to the cops. Because my dad would never allow, if he has his ways of disciplining us, but that was not a way of disciplining. So, you know, I got mentally affected. I felt like maybe the teacher was trying to, you know, abuse me. So it got me, it had me get that fear inside me that I do not want to be in that teacher's class when the lesson is going on. And I used to chuck out from his class. It never made me feel safe with that teacher. So again, another mental health issue getting back to me. You know, you're trying to overcome out of it, but someone else is trying to put you back into it. So it was very horrific. But like I said, prayers and meditation. I helped myself, you can say that. I helped myself.
Yeah, you pulled yourself out of it. So over the years, even if you went through bullying, even if you underwent mental health struggles, prayer and meditation is what helped you all along?
The prayers are the biggest counselors.
Yeah.
So I said, even if they had gone to the counselor would have said, okay, for this session is this much. But he might or she might have not understood you fully. But they will take whatever is theirs, because that's also their hard work. So for me, the only counselor was God. Like I say, I always put God before anything I do. So it's always God, God, God. So my counselor was God. The Father who sent me into this world is the one who made me outcome out of that mental health issues. So when I see someone else undergoing it, the only thing I will do is I'll just advise their family members. Please don't think about throwing this child of yours into a mental asylum, but help that child to come out of it.
And how can they help their child to come out of it?
First of all, prayers, meditation. Take the child out. Take the child out to a different environment whereby the environment is calm. Give time to your child. Spend time with your children. Go for picnics. Go for adventurous trips. That's what I advise to my fellow people.
You have very good self-care, your self-care toolkit is very good. I have a very sensitive question for you in relation to what you just said, because you say your counselor is God. Do you believe that you can still seek Jesus and seek therapy?
Of course you can.
Okay.
Why not? Why not?
Okay. I just wanted to iron that out, because for a minute it felt like for you, you feel like the spiritual journey which worked for you is better than counseling services. So I thought, okay, why not ask?
If you believe in Jesus, Jesus has healed many people, right?
Very true.
Yeah. Jesus turned water into wine. Yeah. So why can't he heal people? Why do we believe that God cannot do anything for us? Even doctors, most of the times the doctor says, sorry, I can't help your patient. Maybe you will lose the patient in 5 or 10 minutes. But then what? After you do your prayers, you see there's a miracle.
That's
that
true.
person gains the consciousness. So like I always said, you know, people are not God. Humans like us are not God. They cannot tell us what our future is. It's only God who knows. So even if someone is facing a mental health issue, you don't have to hear opinions of other people. You don't have to hear people will say, oh, just go to US. Maybe there a miracle will work. That miracle, instead of wasting so much of money going to US and maybe there nothing will happen, that thing can start from wherever you are. That miracle can start from wherever you are. You can help the other person to come out of it from wherever he or she is sitting. It's not a must
It's
to
not
go
a
to
must.
USA.
Yeah.
That's what people say. Oh, I'm so sorry, your child is suffering from mental health issues. He needs a serious therapy. There is no therapy better than God.
All right, but we agree. You can seek Jesus and still seek therapy, right?
Yes.
I'm glad you shared your story on mental health. I'm glad that you've been able to overcome. You're one of the people who've been able to pull themselves out of that mental health pit hole. So many people are not able to pull themselves out of it. And you know, bullying affects people in so many ways. You've got issues with identity, you've got low self-esteem, you've got low self-worth, you have low self-esteem. I mean, it's a whole spectrum of issues. But I'm glad that Sharon now, even if sometimes you may still feel like the narratives that were spoken to you back in the day, they might still have a hold on you, but you seem to be the kind of person who has control. You're able to control your thoughts, and you're able to dispute all those irrational thoughts that might come from time to time. You spoke about your business, and I know this is one of the things you make.
Yes.
She makes chocolates, yummy ones, and that is how my six-pack will go away. Thank you, Pinky, for coming. Thank you for the goodies. Thank you for the chocolates. I'm going to have a wonderful time eating these ones. Could you give us a parting shot as we come to the end of our show today?
Parting shot?
Yeah.
Parting shot as a... Any advice?
Any advice?
Okay. Believe in yourself. No matter what people say about you, as long as you believe in yourself and you know yourself, nothing is more important than being you.
So it is me for me.
Yeah.
It is me versus me.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Remember, healing is the new cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.